founders here with us. And of course, the famous Dan Vogrin. So we're happy to have you guys with us. We'll start really quickly doing introductions, and we'll get into everything. My name is Spiro Tsirkas. I'm the Executive Director of Youth Bureau Recreation and IAC President. Jamae.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamae. I am the Treasurer of the IAC, and I represent the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce, where I am the second Vice President, as well as the Waterfront Center.
Ms. Feiner?
You want me to introduce myself?
Please.
I'm Rhoda Feiner, and I have been associated with the IAC for many, many years, since its beginning in 1971.
Beautiful. Gabor?
Gabor Karsai, representing Rotary International, and I am not the treasurer of IAC.
We have Sharon Harris on the phone, on my phone actually, so you can't see her name, Director of Safe Inc. Right, Sharon? And past president.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Dan?
I'm Dan Vogrin, and I'm long-term member, not as long as Rhoda, of Interagency Council. And I had been the director of Malillo Center and now a strategic advisor for the Charles Evans Center. And I'm grateful to be here today.
Thank you. Carolyn?
Carolyn Wilson, Vice President of IAC and representing the North Shore Historical Museum. And I see, wait, did it change? For a minute there, my name was under Cindy. So, oh yeah, it still is. So I'll be glad to help you out, Cindy.
Travis?
Travis Heat, pastor at Trinity Lutheran Church here in Glen Cove.
And board member. Don't forget that part. Cindy? I think you're muted.
I'm Cindy Rogers. I'm District Director for Congressman Tom Swazi. I just emailed and called Wendy and resent the link to her. She didn't pick up, so I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Ron?
Hi, folks. Ron Rowell, representing AARP.
Thank you. Marianne?
Hi, Marianne Small. I'm the representative for St. Vincent de Paul of Glen Cove.
Thank you. Nancy?
I'm representative for the Alberta Hersey Foundation. Am I on your list? Because I never get the email. I don't seem to get the emails.
Just in case, check your junk mail as well, in case it goes there.
Okay.
Jamae, you can, I like your thing. Jamae, you'll check that for us?
Yeah, just add your email to the chat if you could, so I'll just make sure that's correct.
Jill?
Hi, I'm Jill Nosar. I'm with the Downtown Bid.
Mitch?
Mitch Chodich from the Regency, and I'm the Community Relations Liaison.
Thank you. Fatima?
Hi, good morning. Fatima Cano with La Fuerza. Just filling in for Alberto Munaga.
Good morning. Camille?
Camille Byrne, Glen Cove CDA. Good morning.
Good morning. I am not sure who the 413 number is.
That might be me. This is Kathy Emmett, Food Bank, Nutrition.
You broke in and out. I'm sorry. Might have lost her. Dr. Israel, who has bad news for all of us. Good news for him, bad news for the rest of us.
So good news travels fast. Anyway.
I don't know if it's good. Like I said, it's a one-sided story.
Sorry, I'm late for the meeting. Yeah, after 44 years in education and 23 years here in Glen Cove, which were amazing years, I made the difficult decision, wasn't an easy one, to decide to retire, and I'm retiring at the end of this school year on June 30th.
And he's gonna take over as IAC president because he has free time now.
Yeah. Wait a
I'm not
minute,
going
Mike.
anywhere. I'm staying in Glen Cove, and yeah, I got so many roots here and so many connections. So it's bittersweet for me, but it's the right time, right decision.
What?
Congratulations.
Excuse me a minute, Spiro. Mike, what do you mean 20, what'd you say, 32?
I was 44 years in education in New York State, but for
No.
the past 23 years, I've been here in as an administrator in Glen Cove.
Right,
So-
but when you said living here, I remember you here when you were a little kid.
Yes, but
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I'm not retiring and moving away is what I meant.
Okay, I worked with your dad
Yeah, sure you did.
and loved him.
Yeah. It was ironic, but I actually announced my retirement on my mother's, what would have been my mother's birthday.
Oh, Debbie, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Wow.
Thank you, Spiro, for jumping in with that.
Listen, I had to. Always the last one to know. Come on now. And I think who else just came in? There's another Carolyn Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, it's Christine. I don't know why I'm saying, mine says Carolyn.
You probably used Carolyn's link.
Oh, I did. I'll change my name.
Get off my link.
She charges rent.
This is like the show To Tell the Truth, I think it was. Will the real Carolyn Wilson stand up?
All right. We'll get started into our meeting. I think it's just appropriate that if I have the real Carolyn Wilson introduce our guests. As she has been a significant part of IAC and been with the group for how many years? So Carolyn, I'm gonna leave it to you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No pressure, no pressure.
No pressure. I'll introduce Rhoda first because when I moved to Glen Cove in 1971 and was looking for people to meet and all, I went to a League of Women Voters meeting in Rhoda's house and she was the president. And since then, we've been friends. We've worked together on multiple projects and she's still going. And so she's going to give you a brief history of how the league got started 50 years ago. Rhoda?
Yes. Well, I want to thank you, Carolyn, and to thank the IAC for asking me to talk today. It's always important to know how things began. And it began in 1971. And it occurred to me that some of you were probably not even born then. Or if not, you were quite young. So it bears repeating and reminding of our roots. I was alive in 1971 and very active in the community and working for the CDA, which was then the Urban Renewal Agency. As part of my job, I helped establish some organizations in the community and was writing application for grants. One day, Joan Parry came to visit me. Joan Parry was the social worker at the Glen Cove Community Hospital. She said she had this idea about forming an interagency council as an organization of social service agencies in the community. And she asked me to help her with this. My initial reaction was, oh no, some more meetings. But Joan was a lovely person and a dedicated worker. And I said I would work with her on this idea. And so we contacted some of the agencies and organizations that I had been working with. At first, some of them were reluctant because they thought maybe these various groups would be in competition for some funding. After a while, we convinced them that we should give it a try. We decided to call our group the Interagency Council of Glen Cove, and its mission was to exchange information about each other's services. And we decided that it would be useful to meet at each facility so that we can see it in person and learn about its mission. And we learned about ways to refer our clients or the various clients of the various organizations to each other to receive their services. After a number of years, we became more inclusive and involved religious organizations and school groups. It took a while to realize that we could form some cooperative efforts and didn't need to be wary of our colleagues' competition. And this led to an era of cooperation and collaboration. And I think that our next speaker, Dan Vogrin, can tell us more about that time.
Oh.
So I'm going to turn this over to Dan at this point.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. Carolyn, did you want to say anything first, or did you
No.
want me to start right now?
Well, I was going to introduce you, but you introduced yourself, and I just want to say it was been a pleasure all these years working with you through the Malillo Center. So go ahead.
Thank you, Carolyn, and thank you, Rhoda. Thank you all of Interagency Council for the invite today. IAC has been very important to me, and I've always considered a very unique social phenomenon. And I'm not sure there's anything else like it in Nassau County or even on Long Island. And literally, I have spent half my life in Glen Cove, and IAC has played a big part in my thinking and my philosophy, and that has all culminated in a major decision that Carolyn and I and the board made a couple of years ago to merge with another organization, and that really reflected so much about IAC. It's an honor to be on the agenda with Rhoda, including IAC. I was on the Senior Advisory Committee with Rhoda and on countless other community activities and meetings and events. And it's easy to see how Rhoda's core values and principles formed the essence of IAC. And without even realizing it, Rhoda at the time operated a buzzword called sustainability. And here we are 50 years later, still cooperating, as Rhoda said, not forming competitions and having a very viable organization. If I may at this time, I see Rhoda and three other women who come to mind as veterans and pioneers of service, social service here in Glen Cove. And if I may just mention them, I'd like to. These four women have been the pioneers, as I said, of community service in Glen Cove, people who personify social consciousness and who set the stage early on for community innovation. And of course, it's Rhoda Feiner. I'd also like to remember Hattie Smiler at this time, Connie Maselli, and of course, Carolyn Wilson. And Hattie and Carolyn and Connie were very instrumental in my early days in acclimating to Glen Cove and understanding the agencies and the politics and all of the interactions. So if Interagency Council ever decides to develop a Hall of Fame, I'd like to recommend those 4 names as the first inductees.
Thank you.
So there are so many key moments in IAC history over the past 50 years. And to recount them, well, this meeting would have to last 50 years. So anyway, I've selected a few significant events that occurred during my term, like Rhoda made reference during her term. And I thank you for the opportunity to take a little stroll down memory lane. The first Interagency Council meeting I attended was October 8th, 1985, and it was on a Tuesday morning in the Glen Cove Library. And Connie Maselli, who happens to be my mother-in-law, invited me to speak about social and recreational services for the developmentally disabled. That was my job at the time with the town of Oyster Bay. And what I noticed about Interagency Council was that it was well attended. And I was so very impressed with the involvement of each one of the members and the commitment to service. It just so happened that there were enough people in the audience who were associated with Melillo at that time. And I had applied for the job of director, and lo and behold, thanks to Interagency Council welcoming me and giving me a chance to present, I got the job as director of Melillo Center. So bless you, Interagency Council. As Rhoda had talked about, the idea was to cooperate and collaborate. The first collaboration I remember was with a man named Joe Pena, who was the president of the Nassau County Hispanic Foundation at the time. And he came up with the idea of Project Recapture and wanted to work with Melillo Center on implementing this project. And the idea was to form a tenant empowerment program at 131, 133, and 135 Glen Cove Avenue, which is the building has been raised and it's where Livingston is developing right now. But what we wanted to do was form a tenants association, develop social events for the families, encourage business development on the main level, and offer after-school tutoring for the kids. And the project was successful, and the essence of it was a $50,000 CDA grant, which I'm sure Rhoda remembers at the time. But I bring this up because at the time, Joe had mentioned to me that other organizations in Glen Cove had refrained from submitting CDA grants because they wanted to support and cooperate with this grant and see this project a success. So I was very touched by that, and I was determined then to ratchet up my involvement with Interagency Council as a show of appreciation to everyone's support. At about that time, I became vice president, and we had an excellent president at the time named Linda Satz Jacobs. She was a social worker at Glen Cove Hospital and also very community involved. But at that time, some dramatic events had occurred in Glen Cove. A very sad and troubling event was 2 homeless men had passed away, had succumbed to the elements. They froze to death in Glen Cove. And there was a very strong community reaction to that. Reverend Alan Ramirez of the Brookville Church was a strong advocate for the development of a homeless shelter in Glen Cove. Mayor Tom Swazi saw the importance of providing such services to folks who were challenged in terms of their living circumstances. And I distinctly remember him imploring the IAC and other organizations to please come up with immediate response and some workable solution to the situation. And so many other numerous citizens and agencies came forth. The IAC in the fall of 1979 formed a housing subcommittee. And this was chaired by Rabbi Jason Van Leeuwen of Tifereth, Israel. And Jason did a wonderful job of organizing this committee. It expanded to include other Glen Cove resources and other systems. And he got 3 organizations to commit to office space during downtime, overnight downtime, like around 6 at night to 6 in the morning for the homeless shelter. We got about 100 volunteers to come forth to work in the homeless shelter and to prepare meals. And Jason also coordinated other subsystems in Glen Cove, like the hospital, the police, EMS, Pat Blanco from La Forza. And in a matter of months, it opened in January of 1998. It was a remarkable event. And we welcomed our first guests in January, just a few months after that subcommittee was formed. And IAC should be really very proud about its immediate reaction to a community situation and forming this wonderful committee that launched the homeless shelter. And the homeless shelter has been around for more than 2 decades, serving our community. The New York Times did an absolute wonderful job in terms of recognizing this effort. I've kept this story all these years. It was the Long Island section of the New York Times, January 18th, 1998. And the New York Times specifically mentioned the Glen Cove's 20-year-old interagency council, an independent consortium of 31 local human service agencies, as the catalyst for developing this innovative homeless shelter, unlike anywhere else on Long Island. The shelter opened at Malillo Center, then moved on to St. Pat's and went over to First Presbyterian, where it stayed for a couple of decades. Again, that was a very proud moment in our history. At about this time, Interagency Council took a series of retreats. And the one that I remember the best was in 1998. And these retreats reflected the understanding the need for community services to not compete, as Rhoda had said, but to work better and to collaborate, to network, and to share. The best retreat, as I said, was in '98. It was organized by Georgie Kinnett and Pat Sparks, and it was at a retreat house somewhere upstate in Ludingtonville, Holmes, New York, somewhere off of Route 84 near the Taconic Parkway. Linda Satz-Jacobs and I attended. Arlene Odell was the treasurer at the time. Tina Hammett, a former president. Pat Blanco from La Forza. Dr. Susan Moore from the school district. Ray Shop from the Girl Scouts. And there were 2 days of workshops, and that laid down the foundation for IAC to become a more formalized consortium of organizations. With that in mind, I happened to become president in the fall of '98, and with all the work done at that 1998 retreat, the directors and I and everyone in IAC pledged to work together. We were meeting in the basement of the Glen Cove Library. And at that point, we decided that perhaps it might be best to expand our meetings. And what we decided to do was tour all of the organizations that were members of IAC. And whenever we conducted a tour, it gave the agency an opportunity to explain their services, to showcase their work, and to talk and to give agencies an opportunity to talk about how we could work together with that particular organization. The themes to the meetings involved more social needs. The idea was how agencies could work together to address a specific social issue. At the time, I was also involved with the homeless shelter, and there was a board member there from Tifereth Israel named Mo Baldwin, and I asked him if he would join the Malillo board, and he said, no, I'm too busy, but there is another congregate named Lisa Pollock who might be helpful to you. Well, sure enough, Lisa was an attorney, very socially conscious, and she joined the board. It just so happened that she was also married to an attorney who had the same social values. His name is Marty Pollock. And I approached Lisa and Marty about doing the corporation work for IAC. And they said, of course. And Marty took it on all by himself and pro bono. And that was the beginning of Interagency Council becoming a formal corporation. Of course, we needed to have some financial work done and get the 501c3 status established. And I remember working with a city accountant at that time named John McCary, who also worked pro bono and helped us establish the 501c3 status. So, you know, the values of IAC were really coming forth so well in terms of people wanting to come and help us establish a stronger network. With that more formal network in place, that opened the door for Georgie Canet and future President Juan Castro to get a series of grants from the Youth Board and to get this magnificent 21st Century grant that was really very big. And that helped us establish other sub-programs within Glen Cove, as well as hire a staff. I'd like to conclude with the one defining moment that is very important to me and important to IAC. That in June of 2005, IAC held a huge conference at the Metropolitan. And Sharon Harris and Victoria Crosby and Chris Morris did just an outstanding job of organizing this conference. It was an excellent menu and an excellent program. The speakers included County Executive Tom Swazi, Nassau County Youth Board Executive Director George Ciberone, and Carolyn Wilson speaking on behalf of Mayor Holtzcamp. And all of the speakers spoke about the importance of community networking and how IAC was a model. And you may recall, of course, that Tom was very active in IAC as mayor of Glen Cove. And Tom, when he became county executive, realized that the social service sections of the county were somewhat fragmented. Mental health was at 240 Old Country Road. Mineola, drug and alcohol was in Hempstead. Division of Senior Citizens at another location. Youth Board at another location. So Tom used Interagency Council as a model for reconfiguring those county agencies all at 60 Charles Lindbergh Boulevard, and encouraged all of those organizations to not only be in the same location, but to also work together. So that was really a turning point for IAC, and that conference got a lot of good press and really put Interagency Council on the map. And I'm also forever indebted to IAC for actually honoring me at the time. And I was given a wonderful clock that I still have, and the clock is still ticking. I'm still ticking. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Interagency Council for the opportunities that it gave me, as well as the community and so many other members. So thank you for the invite, and it was wonderful taking a stroll down memory lane. And Carolyn, I'll turn it back to you.
Oh, thank you, Dan. I agree. Taking that stroll together was just great. Spiro?
Dan, thank you. Ms. Feiner, thank you so much for joining us. As you guys can see, IAC has a long history, a history that should be cherished, something we should all be proud of, being members, working together. As we all know, a lot of times it's easier to work separately, but we all know together we get more accomplished. That 21st century grant, Dan, is what brought me into Glen Cove. You know, I was hired to run it, and you know, back then my philosophy was younger than I was, 3 years, change your job. But I fell in love with Glen Cove, fell in love with the job, stayed here, moved here. So in one way, IAC changed my life completely. But thank you guys. Thank you for attending. We did have intentions of having a gala to celebrate IAC, celebrate you guys, celebrate everything that we've done. COVID had other plans for us. The event was scheduled for November, if I'm not mistaken. But we would love to talk and see what we can do together, what ideas you might have. I would love to set up something similar, a conference, something that we can do. I think there's more value in that than just, you know, eating, and that's it. So thank you. We will Sharon, are you saying something?
I'm sorry. We talked about discussing with the membership the possibility of sponsoring children and needy families with some of the money that we would have usually spent on a gala. I'm trying to join this meeting now, but it's not working out.
It's all right. We can hear you. Everyone can hear her, right?
Yeah.
What? You want me to mute her? I'm kidding. But great. All right. So is Cindy joining? What happened?
No, she's not going to be able to. The woman that I was dealing with is in the city with her husband at a hospital, and she can't reach their sisterhood president. So, you know, she could reschedule maybe for another time.
It would have to be June next month. We are at the school district and they're doing their budget. All right. So
I'll
I
ask
think
her to reach out directly to who? To you or
reach out
Jamie or who?
Jamay. Don't do that again. Jamay.
Sorry. I'm
Get
sorry.
all of you guys to remember that now.
Now she's gonna keep sending us emails. Now we're all done. So we'll do it then. Okay. So anyone else besides announcements have anything they want to discuss or talk about? Any questions for our guests?
I just want to make a mention that that was really a wonderful history. I really thoroughly enjoyed like learning about, you know, really having that mindset to expand and bring people together and really make a difference. And then what you did with it as you went on, I think that's amazing. And I think we have a lot to live up to, right, Spiro? Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm very, very happy that you guys are able to do this. And I 100% agree with Spiro. We're definitely gonna, you know, do something that we highlight this a little bit more. And I'm definitely gonna share this on our YouTube page and socially and really get the story out there about why we started and where we are now.
You know what I think would be nice? Sharon,
okay.
What would be nice, I think, is even on our website, if we can have Dan send us his timeline, and then maybe we could include that on the cover page, the timeline of IAC special events.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And we break it down so everyone can have a quick glance back and see what happened when and the key moments of the organization.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. And I'll take a clip of what you just talked about today in this video and I'll add it to our website. We're just changing over our website right now. It's just in the midst of it. So I'll have a whole new look and we'll put it out there. I think that would be a great way to honor our 50 years.
Spiro, also, I have a box that I think came, I don't know, it passed through hands. I gave it to Kathy at the library. She gave it back to me. But that's where I got some of the information for Rhoda about the very beginnings. And it has a lot in it, a lot of photos, newspaper photos. They're not real great, but of different groups meeting at different places. So if anybody wants to go through that or use any.
I
have some.
Oh,
If we
okay.
could scan it in, we could share it.
I have some from when I gave you that box, Carolyn.
Okay.
I came across that. I came across some information from a retreat that we did at the Woolworth Mansion. I think that came subsequently from the retreat that Dr. Vogrin had mentioned.
Right.
Because I remember I started in '93. And I think the first experience that I had with any type of strategic planning, board retreat, Robert's rules, all of that, I believe stemmed from that workshop that we did at the Woolworth Carey Estate, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The one that just sold?
Yes.
Because Dr. Vogrin was doing a presentation. You know, if you look at cognitive processing and information processing, he was doing a chart that we would call in the textbooks chunking. But Dr. Vogrin always put everything in boxes. And it was a strategic plan. I remember this, Dr. Vogrin, because you actually helped me pass my strategic planning course. Dr. Vogrin would set out a strategic plan that would take us maybe 5 years from where we were beginning. And he had it all laid out in boxes. It was very interesting. It looked like a cross between a genogram and whatever else, but I think I have that too.
Okay.
All right, and anything else you need, I found a little bunch of stuff under my desk.
I found a bunch of pictures at the Youth Bureau, but Sharon threatened to kill me if I release them.
Oh, please don't. Please, but I have a few things. I don't know who wants to wade through it to see if it's website worthy, but I can meet with somebody and give them the stuff.
Yeah, it would be good to have all of this together somewhere, you
All
know,
right.
not just sitting in our houses.
Oh, I
don't-
remember I also had the black folder from the Pollocks when we were incorporated.
Yeah.
I
I got
had,
that,
do
too.
you have that?
Yep. I have it.
Okay. Okay, well, I can share whatever I've stumbled across.
Okay.
Because I think
Maybe
it
we
would be
can
nice.
maybe we can meet up and just do like a scanning party somewhere.
Right.
Whatever
Yeah.
you want to do. And I just want to say that Dr. Vogrin was the first person to take me for lunch when I passed my license. I will never forget it. And Dr. Vogrin was the first person to sit with me and think about my doctoral dissertation and redirected my thoughts towards something that was so unique and interesting. And it was about patient treatment matching. And it's not about what insurance says, it's about what the client needs. And he introduced me to inpatient day treatment and residential treatment milieus. And I'm forever grateful, Dr. Vogrin, your half an hour with me set me up for my future. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you even for mentioning that,
Sure.
Sharon. It's always been a pleasure. And it's 1993, huh? And I distinctly remember the role that you played in those retreats that we had up in the retreat center upstate, as I mentioned. And it was nice of you to remember that retreat at the Woolworth Mansion.
Right.
If I recall, it was 1999, and you were part of that committee putting that whole agenda together.
I
And the
remember.
room was packed.
Yeah, we did some good stuff back then and we're still doing it now.
Yep.
I want to know, back then, when you guys decided to meet at different locations, if you ever thought you'd be at everyone's location at the same time.
No.
No, certainly
Nobody
not.
ever expected this, Vero. Nobody ever expected this.
No, my first meeting was at the library in the history room, I think. That
Okay.
was when City Hall was where the police department is now,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
if I recall,
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Yeah. That's right.
Awesome. Thank you guys again for coming, reminding us why we're here, reminding us what we do. And just please keep in touch. That's all we can ask, because we always look for the guidance of the founders. On that note, Janae, do you want to give a treasurer's report?
Sure. Let me just share this really quick. Okay. Okay, so we are right now at 47 members. So that's definitely, you said we were around 30 back then, so we're growing there. You know, the more nonprofits pop up and agencies. So our membership, we just have been collecting through Stripe and through our checks. So a small, increase in that. The only expenses we've ever really had is Zoom. And so currently we have a nice grand total of $8,266. We have only 2 agencies that we are still looking to have pay. And Spiro has the other 2, I believe. And so everybody else is paid up for this year. And that's really it. Quick and easy.
Yes, I do have Glen Cove Schools, and I have the Housing Authority on my desk.
Okay, great. We just need the city and then North Form if they're gonna still continue. I don't know how they are doing.
Who was the second one?
Yeah, who's North
Country
Form?
North Reform, sorry.
North Country
Oh, North
Reform.
Congregation. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really it. I mean, there's a couple others that are, I was thinking that we could add an email out to and see if they want to join us. But if anybody knows of any other agencies that would like to join us on a monthly basis, let us know and we'll follow up.
Can you just make sure that Donna McNaughton, it does get the email in, Pam, just in case, because it's not like them not to be here.
Okay.
Mayor's office.
Yes.
Maybe add Rose Malillo as well, or just send, and you should have Sue Tripp, maybe just send it to Sue Tripp and she can disperse it, because usually they do have a representative here.
Okay.
Also, can you send out an email to everybody with the listing of the organizations?
Sure.
So that they're aware, because there's so many now that,
Sure, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Everything's on the website though, correct?
Everything's on the
Yeah.
website, but I'll
Yeah, we
send
have
it
a
out with
director.
But I think
list of-
some people, you have to
Yeah.
kind of hit them on the head with it.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I'll send, yeah, that's basically, we've been having issues with the conversion over to our new website, but the idea was once we get that going, I was going to send out a launch email and show everybody,
Okay.
but I'm just waiting because there's a hiccup with the conversion.
Okay.
could we talk a little bit about what we did at the executive meeting with some discretionary funds? Spiro,
Yeah, sure.
you want to do it?
Go for it. No, you can.
Okay, so let me just say that IAC has never been so flush. And since we have a nice tidy sum sitting in the bank and we are still in a pandemic and we still have people who are in need of not only physical things, but social and emotional support, I was wondering if we could sponsor families or children in need. I'm sure we all encounter people who can't afford after-school enrichment or summer programs for youth. There are children that are left to their own devices while single-parent mothers are working, and the summer is the worst time for them because they are totally unsupervised and running about. It's just a thought, but I was wondering if the membership would be interesting in, let's say, sponsoring a couple of families, helping children get through the summer, supervised in a safe environment, maybe Spiro's program, somebody's camp, something other than left to their minor children, left to their own devices after their siblings. That's just, I'm just throwing it out there. If I learned anything from Tom Swazi, it's what is the case of the week and how can we help them? And if we can't help all of them, we can help some of them, and the rest we can send to Charles Lindbergh. But he had this habitual way of looking at a problem and coming at it from, like Dr. Vogrin did, from different boxes in different ways to help people in need. And I think that's what makes IAC very special. I mean, from the toe to the head, somehow, some way, we can comprehensively and holistically help people. People are suffering. I mean, I know I'm talking to the choir, but if you look at their statistics on alcohol and substance use, anxiety disorder in kids, COVID really imposed stressors on a generation that didn't have the maturity to cope with what they were faced with, and they are still dealing with that. Plus the fact that school is ending now, and there are a lot of children that really don't, whose parents or parent don't have money to send to these lovely camps and experiences that we have in Glen Cove. So I was wondering if the membership has families that are in need of support. And if so, we can, you know, put together like an intake sheet and find out exactly what the needs are, not just the monetary, but perhaps an abbreviated psychosocial face sheet of just what their income is, what their basic needs are. I heard somebody was here from the Hersey Foundation. Maybe they need clothes, food, basics. Any thoughts?
I like the idea. I think we have to have a, excuse me, a central, you know, office or somewhere to first of all, to get the word out, and then to take the intake of it, of all the information.
That's fine.
I could help with like creating something like a form or something online where people could, you know, if you feel like those people would be capable of putting that stuff online.
Probably
I mean,
not.
Everybody has access to.
I mean, we would have access to it. What I'm talking about is our staff or our personal day-to-day. Do we come across people that could use our help? I remember having a form. I think I got it from Mrs. Feiner actually years ago. It's a CDA. I want to call it like a face sheet because for lack of any other word, but it sums it all up. You know, what is your issue? Check, check, check. It just 1, 2, 3. What do you need? You know, how can we help you?
We could send that out to everybody, and then whoever fills it out, we just have to figure out where they're going to send it back to, a central person, or you know, mail it if they don't want to put it on.
I know, I got to find that form, but it's just a thought. I mean,
yeah,
we obviously have a nice tidy sum in the bank, and I would like to, in the spirit of 50 years of service, I'd like to do some good service.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me.
Great. Anyone have any announcements?
This is Cindy. Can I just wanted to chime in and say that Tom has been a very big supporter of IAC. And even just a couple years ago when we were doing the census, his first thought was, in trying to get help in Glen Cove, let's pull IAC in. But it's always been something that's very important with him. And when I was his deputy mayor back in 1994, that was one of the first things he told me to make sure that I did. I have photos of a lot of the group places when we were moving around. And if you want them, I can send you the originals for that. And then the other thing is we still have COVID tests here. I have about 10 boxes left. There are 90 in a box. If anyone else needs the at-home test, please let me know because I'd like to get them out of my office.
Tom here too. Cindy, do you think maybe Tom would like to join in June and discuss his experiences with IAC? I mean, depending on his schedule, is this something that
I
you
can
might
certainly ask him if he would like to. His schedule's his schedule is in flux. When is the June meeting? Is the
June
15th.
meeting,
I know we won't have an answer until right before that, but I can certainly run that by him.
all right, I believe, if I'm not
June 8th.
mistaken, June meeting is the 8th.
Yeah.
The 8th. The
Yeah,
8th.
Wednesday.
Okay.
And we would be in person, and we could pick a location, maybe we could do it at City Hall. And
Okay.
at second floor conference room or something like that.
Okay. We won't know until closer to that date, but I'll definitely let them know that that would be
Okay.
that he's available, that he's welcome. Thank
Perfect.
you.
No problem. Anyone else?
Hi,
Yes.
here. Just a couple of things. Thanks to Danielle, we now have a new medical transport car.
Woohoo.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
Yep. I talked to Danielle one day and 2 days later, she's like, I think I have a car for you. It's amazing. You know, you really, it's unbelievable. Took a little bit of time, you know, for us to figure out. It was an old retired police department car. It's a Crown Vic, so it's great. People can get in and out of it very easily. It's in good condition. So we're really excited about that. And but the only thing is that we need drivers. Right now, we're going to start it up just being able to do it from 9 to 12 in the morning. We'd love to have it be more during the day, you know, a full day. I think we have 3 drivers now, but if anybody knows of anyone who's retired or has time during the week to be able to drive people to their appointments, please let me know, because we could use as many as we possibly can. And it's for Glen Cove residents, but they can go to the doctors outside of Glen Cove. I think it's pretty much in the catchment area of Glen Cove, Glen Head, Locust Valley, Seacliff, and Glenwood Landing. Unfortunately, all the way to like Winthrop or somewhere like that might be a little too far. So if anybody knows any drivers, or we'll let you know when it's really up and running or waiting for the plates to come in on it. It's parked back here at the senior center. We're so excited. And really, Danielle, I don't know how you make the things that you do happen.
It was a joint effort, but thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm just glad it worked out, and I'm glad that we got this car. It looks really nice. I'm pretty excited. So thank you, Christine, and thank you for everybody that does this work. I cannot drive anybody around. You wouldn't want me to, but I'm glad that I'm just glad that it all worked out.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
There's no sirens, right? Because Phyllis and sirens don't go well together.
They took all the stuff out. They took all the fun stuff out of the car. Unfortunately, it's going to be a pretty boring ride for everybody, but it works. So second thing I have is our golf, the Sage Foundation golf outing is Monday, June 6th. We just got the invitations in, so I'm going to have, it's all on our website, sponsorships, information, T signs, everything. We'd love to have people join us, either play golf or come to the Metropolitan for dinner. The tee off is at noon and the dinner starts at 5. We have it on our website, but I will also have Lori email all the information to everybody here at IAC. We're hoping that it'll be a very successful one, since we haven't been able to for 2 years, and we're honoring all of the directors of the EMS services. So police, fire, harbor patrol, OEM, I'm forgetting one of them. But they all agreed to be honored, so we're looking forward to it. I'd love to have as many people there as possible. And then last is Nosh. We are still looking for a home. Right now, they're here in the basement of the senior center, and we have a computer room that was not being used. It's great. There's 2 double doors that go out to the back patio, so they're able to store stuff there, get deliveries, pack bags, get everything out. But we still need a permanent home. So if anybody has any connection to any real estate or knows anywhere, either here or maybe in, I didn't know they were saying Seacliff or Oyster Bay, we'd like to keep it here in Glen Cove. We tried to get a location on School Street. Unfortunately, they have said that might not work, but I'm still looking into that, finding out why. But if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. And that's it.
I guess I'll give some announcements. There's a few of them, so bear with me. This Saturday is our Easter egg hunt. We are doing it at Morgan's Park. It starts at 11 a.m. We will have the bunny there. All the eggs will be dispersed throughout the park, by the beach for the little ones, and then for the older kids up on the upper grass fields. Registration for all 3 of our summer camps have begun. Registration is going well. It looks like we're going back to pre-COVID day numbers. So we are increasing. We have our first annual kite festival on April 30th at Garvey's Point. We are doing it together with RXR. So we're very excited about that. On the recreation aspect of things, baseball started, lacrosse started. They still can use kids. So we have a lot of the sports stuff in action. Something that is new for this year is, first, we came up with the new recreation logo, incorporating everyone in. Try to tie all the sports together and work with everyone together. Secondly, on May 5th, we are having our first fundraiser. It will be held at the Metropolitan. All the money, all the proceeds will be going back to our fields and our youth programs, our youth sports programs, I should say. The Friends of the Glen Cove Youth Board helped us, and they are the ones that will be collecting the money. And this money will allow us to do a lot of the needed repairs that we have to do at the fields and at the stadium. So super excited about that. If you guys can come, if you want an invitation, please let me know. We would love to see as many of you there as possible. If you can't come and you'd like to sponsor the event, again, you could email me. I could send you the information. But super excited about that. We are honoring a few people. Mr. Dom Grasso will be getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. Damon Silverstein from soccer, Brian Neese from lacrosse, and we are also honoring the board of Glen Cove Junior Baseball and Softball from the original board from 1950s to 2014. So we'd like to see everyone attend, and like I said, super excited about that. With regards to city stuff and parks, we are evaluating things that need to be corrected. We are working on that. The beaches will be ready Memorial Day. Yay, can't wait. The docks will be put in, the floating docks will be put in at some point next week. So for those boaters, we have that option. And we just keep moving forward. We chip away at everything. But that is all I have for my department. Anyone else?
Yes, I actually do have one announcement. We are holding a Downtown Sounds Teen Idol contest, and we're still looking for submissions. We're taking submissions for ages 13 to 18 until April 25th, and it's a great opportunity for anyone in the Glen Cove community, any teens, to showcase their talent. So if anyone can help us spread the word, we've sent it out to the schools. We have flyers. If anyone would like to pick up some flyers, that would be helpful too. So just want to get the word out about this. And, yeah, so anything we can do to spread the word would be extra helpful.
Yeah, just share it with us and I'll share it as well.
Okay, thanks.
And I do have one thing from Lydia from the library. She wasn't able to join us, but she sent me this just to share it with everybody. They have a program for low-income families for discounts for phone and internet, it seems. So I posted this on our Facebook wall, and definitely reach out to her if you have any questions.
Anyone else? All right, we will see everybody next month at the Glen Cove High School Library, correct, Dr. Israel?
That's correct.
All right, any questions or anything you would like us to send out, please continue to send it to myself or Janae, and we will get it on our website. Thank you again to Rhoda and Dan.
Great to see you, Rhoda.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I just want to say that you all make me very proud that I had something to do at the beginning of this wonderful organization.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
We just hope we're doing what you visioned. All right, everyone, have a wonderful month. And for those celebrating this weekend, happy Easter.
And happy Passover.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.